So this is just going to be a quick video. Obviously I won't go into depth about everything, but I thought instead of doing a wish list video this year, which I probably will, who knows, but yeah, just going to do a kind of my greatest discoveries of this year. Now they haven't all come out this year necessarily, but they are fragrances I've personally discovered. So yeah, so it goes without saying, you all knew this one would be in it. Is Milano Fragranze's Prima. And I want to say the whole Milano Fragranze line as well. There's some beautiful fragrances in there, and it probably won't be the only bottle I get from them. But yeah, La Prima was just kind of that peachy Divana fragrance that I've always kind of been waiting for and wanting. So it was kind of a love at first sniff. Peach is, well, I won't go on to loads of detail. Peach is a difficult note to get right, and this just has that lovely richness and the sweetness, but with a heck of a lot of class and sophistication, and mixing with all the other notes, especially that little touch of fur in there. It's just unbelievably beautiful. Yeah, can't really say any more about it, kind of keeping it brief. The other ones from the line, I suspect there'll be another one. Like I said before, maybe Galleria is a possibility. But right, that's that one. Obviously linked to Milano Fragranze at Masque Milano. Now it's taken me a long time to be able to kind of explore this house. And luckily we have Perfume Playground in the UK who started stocking them, so I got a discovery set. A lot of loves. I mean a lot of loves. Mandala, obviously Petra, which got a little travel size of, but Ray-flection was kind of the one I majorly fell in love with, which is just this unbelievably gorgeous mimosa fragrance, bit of osmanthus, but just super bright, dry, happy floral with loads of bright, happy musks in. Yeah, it's not what you'd expect from me. It's very, very bright and very happy, and like I've said, I kind of see it as kind of like flowers having a rave and stuff. Just a beautiful fragrance, as was the whole, I mean, like I've said, I mentioned them three. Romanza, I may be very tempted to pick up a bottle of Romanza very soon actually as well, which was a Narcissus heavy kind of fragrance. Love Narcissus. So yeah, that was Masque Milano Ray-flection. Another great discovery, won this in a giveaway. Like I say, I'm being kind of open about what I've been kind of given, gifted and giveaways, but this is a giveaway, but nevertheless absolutely loved it, and that is Eglantier from Nancy Meiland. Now this wasn't a love at first sniff, it was a intrigue at first sniff. It is very, very unusual. Now I've spoken about this a few times. It is this kind of, it's an aquatic floral would be the best way of describing it. It doesn't have a lot of florals in, but it has that sweetness. It has rose hip in it, which I'd not really call a floral as such, but it has salt in it. I believe it has neroli in it, shock horror, and lots of woods and stuff. It's both this cooling, mesmerising but sweet and lovely florals. But again, probably one of the most unusual I've smelt this year. But as you've seen when I've had the bottle up previously doing posts and stuff, I've used quite a fair bit of it. I just couldn't put it down. It's quite a wonderful fragrance. So there, from Nancy Meiland, Eglantier. This was a gifted bottle, no kind of must talk about it or whatever, and I had, I bought discovery sets from Swedoft before, so it's not like anyway, that's by the by. And that is Swedoft's Bohemian. Now I didn't really know what to expect with this one, but one spray and it kind of blew my head off. It is very potent and strong, but it works. It's not a potent goopy bomb. This is a fragrance, a beautiful fragrance with development and evolution, and it takes you different places, and it is so classy, especially for a stronger fragrance. It's a mixture of oud, leather, whiskey, I mainly get tobacco and all this. It's just this really, really rugged, beautiful fragrance. It's just sensational. It's such an impression making fragrance, which again I've had a lot of wearings about from that one. So that's Swedoft's Bohemian. And then a very special one from me is Olfactive O Gourmand. Now I did enjoy actually from the discovery set more than I thought I would. I did actually really like the woody one. It was Very nice, even though not perhaps what you'd normally think I'd go for. The floral is not your normal floral. Sorry, that sky, that purple's lovely, isn't it? But the floral is an unusual floral, but wonderful, really nice. But it was the fruity from that set that I loved. It's like a strawberry raspberry kind of, as the name suggests, fruity one. Almost a little chocolatey. It's not too sweet, it's not too in your face, it's not weird. It's quite a realistic strawberry, which is quite a hard note, I believe, to reproduce, but it's a lovely strawberry, peach, like I say, raspberry. I kind of get all them fruits from it. But Gourmand was the one that I got to try little prototype for, and loved it then. But it was very smooth and very kind of more creamy back then, I'd say. Now I bought the full version, and wow, it's just sensational. The rum, well, boozy notes, it's rum in this one, with amped up. That juicy fig mixing with the rose and stuff, and the chocolate is there, dark in the background. I absolutely love that fragrance. It's again one of the best discoveries of the year, even though it's only recent that I've smelled that. But again, the lovely house is also, and Olivia is a lovely lass. So that's Olfactive O. Come on. Next is April Aromatics Lotus Rising. Now I've got a sample of that, which I'm going to be getting I'm almost certain that's what I'm getting myself for Christmas. It's very expensive. It's got to be the most expensive thing I've ever got to have bought per mil, I think. And I'm going to get a smaller bottle because it's going to be a special one anyway, and I need to be sensible to a point. But it is this beautiful lotus fragrance, like the name suggests. It's got that kind of water lily feel to it. It's rich. It's not, it's rich. It's got body. It's got all these florals in it, and it takes you away to them Chinese rivers through the unspoilt landscape, and lilies and lotuses going down them. Yes, I'm stuck in the mud. Shit. But yes, it is a sensational fragrance, and another one that was love at first sniff. It's so beautiful, and it's worth every single penny. So that's going to be my Christmas present. And there's so many good ones from April Aromatics, and they're all made with naturals, but they maintain that beauty that naturals give you, but they still they do last, and you can still smell them, and they're quite beautiful and sensational. So from April Aromatics, Lotus Rising. Then we have Salins and Sirens from Jusbox. Now this was another one that I was gifted to by the brand. It's basically this, it's like a mixture of musical influences, all the fragrances from the house. So it's influenced by different artists, different eras, and different kind of time periods. There were a few I did like, but this one really kind of stuck with me. And this one was influenced by Amy Winehouse. And it lives up to that. It's got the kind of booziness, the sweetness in there, the leather. Lovely Claire Smith, Dr. Claire Smith, she describes this as like a naughty party. It's got all these beautiful different elements. It's really quite enjoyable, quite beautiful. If you look at this kind of sunset, the kind of crimson thing, it's kind of what it smells like. It's like that rose is really dark and mysterious with the kind of fruitiness in it, and the fruity alcohol. It's an absolutely magnificent fragrance. Definitely one of my favourite this year. Definitely along that kind of style that I really enjoy. So yeah, from Jusbox is Sailors and Sirens. Then from Matiere Prima. Now I tried a few, and I also got gifted a bottle by them, which was Encens Suave, which I absolutely love. It's a fantastic fragrance. And also Oud 7, which again is beautifully kind of dark and green and woody, and obviously oudy, absolutely magnificent. And they also sent a few samples, of which I tried Radical Rose, and that would be the one that I think is possibly the best I'd kind of smelt this year from them. Magnificent. It gets compared to Portrait of a Lady. Yeah, kind of. It is a patchouli kind of rose. It's kind of a little bit interesting, a little bit smoky. It's got lots and lots of facets and elements to it,
But to me it also had like a little bit of the kind of patchouli rose, because it's much deeper, of Noir de Noir. Absolutely loved it. Probably one of the best rose fragrances I've smelt for a long time. We all know how fussy I am with rose, so yeah, from Matiere Premiere is Radical Rose.
So next is a brand that's very special to me as well. It took me bloody long enough to try them and get them here. Many attempts to get the bloody samples here, but again it'll be one I'm buying next year, and that is One Way Bridges Date with a Dame. This just ridiculously spectacular. Like I say, it smells of cherry to me, but it might not be cherry. Could be the way the other notes mix with it, a lovely tuberose, and it's just a glamorous, almost vintage, beautiful fragrance. But the brand itself is based in New Zealand. I won a giveaway a while ago of the oil of Polly, and that was kind of a love at first sniff. So I eventually got the samples, of which I love many of them. The spray of Polly is gorgeous as well, but yeah, I fell in love with that one most of all. It's just so ridiculously, I don't know how to describe it. It's classy and smart, but it's got a real attitude about it. It's very me, and it's very lovely. So One Way Bridges Date with a Dame. So yeah, I'm kind of in awe of this sunset tonight. Look at that. So the next great one this year has been from a designer house, but from the Privé line. I've tried more this year than I had kind of previously, although I'd tried some from them and loved them. There's Gris Dior. Now, Ombre Nuit, Bois d'Argent are kind of ones I absolutely love, but Gris Dior should not be my sort of fragrance. Fresh, almost fizzy, beautiful, greenish, bright, aldehydic almost, in my mind anyway, rose. Not my cup of tea at all, but I absolutely adore it. It's so well made, like you'd expect from these Dior lines. Beautiful, classy, elegant, very cooling actually. It's one I wear to bed a lot, I know, very bougie. Just love it. So, brief, but Gris Dior from the Dior Privé line. So this was just like obviously it's quite brief and I didn't go into much detail about each one because I didn't really have time, but obviously I've spoken about all of them in quite a few times in quite a lot of depth as well. Now I thought I'd rather do this than the kind of wish list that we all do, and this is kind of the end of the year video for me, more or less. And it's because I wanted to kind of say the things I discovered this year, because we kind of, again, we pass over that, and there's been some quite stunning, beautiful fragrances. I've discovered new houses. I've got more and more. I think I've got more and more indie. Obviously, there's designer and there's niche in here, but I've really enjoyed this year and kind of moved on from last year. Obviously, I still love Killian and that, but yeah, I've moved on. I've discovered new things, and there's so many wonderful fragrances out there, isn't there, for us to discover. It's good not to kind of stick to the same things. And yeah, I admit some of these fragrances have been gifted, but I've bought from these houses as well, explored them. There's no bias there, you know, I'm pretty straightforward about what I like and what I don't like. What about you? What have you discovered this year? What's the greatest fragrance you've smelled?
End? No, the journey doesn't end here. Death is just another path. One that we raised during the curtain of this world rolls back, and all turns to silver glass. And when you see it, and beyond, a far green country, and to a swift sunrise.